Time to go to our interview for today. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Australian Indian Radio. So a very special presentation. As we know, for the last few weeks, we have been talking with Aus India Travel and bringing you a much needed up-to-date on what you can do and what you can't do, travel-wise, tour-wise at this point in time. With that, let's welcome to the show for Tanvi Goel. Tanvi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeshji. Thank you, everyone. And thanks for listening to us on Australian Indian Radio. Thanks to Umeshji. Really, without him, we could not do this. I hope you all are really safe and sound. Before we go ahead, I would like to tell you all that these or whatever we are discussing or advising, these all are the updates which we received. And for up-to-date information, always refer to the government website, and you can call us as well.
And that's a very good point that you have just made there, because rules change every time as well, so things could change, and the information is relevant at the time of the show. So, what's happening right now, and people have been, worried about all the things. So, Christmas is coming, end of the year is coming, the festive season is coming, Diwali is coming. So, do you think it's a good time for people to start thinking about trips?
Yeah, definitely. Umeshji, I would say this is the right time. So we're already approaching November, and there are so many tours around. And I know we all are actually, we're bound in home and we just want to go out. So I think things are easing up. So it's best you can book it right now. In fact, if you go on our website, ausindiatravel.com.au, under the Australia Short Tours, you will get hundreds of options to book any of the places you are in Australia. So let's say since we are in Brisbane, let's talk about Brisbane first. If you are in Brisbane in Queensland and you want to go for 5 to 7 days trip, guys, I would say you must go to Cairns. That's really an amazing place. I have been there myself. You can go to Great Barrier Reef. You can go to Kuranda Village. Kuranda Village got so many amazing sanctuaries. They got the butterfly sanctuary. I'm sure you can't stop yourself, catching those. In fact, there are so many amazing things. If you're in Brisbane, you want to go for a short drive to Sunshine Coast, you can go camping, you can go to beaches. Even those places you can go easily for, weekend getaway for 2-3 days or even longer than that. You can go for lunches in the river cruise. And there are so many other options you guys have. So I think this is a really right time that you can plan, because as you know, the Christmas time, it really sold out quite quick. And I think this time, Umeshji, it's going to be worse than the last time, because now people are very curious and they really want to go out. So guys, definitely go for it. Even if you are in Sydney, you can go Blue Mountain, General Caves, Harbour Town Cruise. There are so many other options. All I want to tell you guys here is I'll recommend you to be within your state, because the rules and regulations, you never know what's going to happen. So it's good to be in a safer side and try to be within your state. Or if you know that the border restrictions are removed for a particular place and you're 100% sure, then go for it. Otherwise, I would say better to be within your state.
It is always good to be within the state, because there's so much to see within our own state as well. What about, with Sundays and that new intercontinental that's been put out there near Hamilton Island?
Yeah, so there are so many other flights also started by even Virgin Australia, Umeshji. So they are going regional. That's what the new tag is. And they're going to have even the new flight from Brisbane to Alice Springs. They're going to have more frequency for Brisbane to Hamilton Island, and even flights to Adelaide and other places as well. So yeah, things are really improving, and you have a lot more options than before now.
And, one of the areas where people are very used to, especially around Queensland, loving the water, loving the seas, and always going out on cruises. So what's the update on cruises? What's happening there?
Umeshji, I'm so excited to tell you that. In fact, when I read this news this morning, I'm like, really? Even you all will be surprised to know that the Regent's 7 Sea Cruises recently set the record for the largest booking in the company's history. for sports for 2022-23, and that was more than 40% if you compare with their sales 2 years ago. So it's really a big jump. That means everyone is really excited, and you can book it. And the best part is a lot of companies, Umeshji, are giving you very, their terms and conditions pretty good. They are changeable. Some are giving you refunds as well. So yes, you can even go on water and take a small cruises as well and book the new ones, and especially this particular one, Umeshji, they are including all the places for Africa and Asia mainly. So they are really, really exciting. People can book it. There is no problem about that.
Wow, that is exciting news, So, pack your bags. We're going cruising. Yes.
I am going to very soon.
Yes, very good. And so that is amazing that, considering everything that, they have had that much sales and inquiries. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it was even very, very surprising, I would say, which is great. Something positive coming from there.
Yes. So as people start moving in and about and going from here to there, so what's the update about any easing of any border restrictions or flights which are linked with those restrictions?
Okay, Umeshji, recently, the last week, there was an ease of border restriction between New South Wales and Tasmania, which is amazing. Now, Qantas has moved quickly to take advantage of that, and they started a new flight from Sydney to Launceston. In fact, they're going to start the services from 4th of December. So it will be, they'll operate 3 times a week. In fact, they will start the more frequency from 11th December till 1st of Feb, which means if anyone going to Christmas or New Year will have more frequencies and more things. And they are planning to increase, have up to 900 extra seats, which means you don't have to worry even if there are, more people going, you should still be able to get good prices and more seats, Umeshji.
I know there has been, some flights coming from India from Delhi to Darwin, and I featured that in my news this morning. That's how I know. And what are any flight updates from Australia to India?
Yes, Umeshji, recently there were 7 flights launched by Air India government. So these flights are between 1st November to 20th November. The good thing is this time they have 1 flight from Melbourne to Delhi as well. Generally, it's just Sydney to Delhi. So our Melbourne friends, they're like, why don't we have Air India from here? So I think it's a trial thing. Out of 7 flights, they just got 1 from Melbourne, which is on 1st of November. The only thing about this, Umeshji, is the flights are a little expensive than it used to be before. So this time their fares are around $1,798 per person. Then if you're going to a different places in India, then you have to pay extra for it. So, and there is one more flight launched last week, which was Sydney to Delhi on 12th of November, and the fares start from $1,295, Umeshji.
I'm sure that if people, want to get on these flights, they won't mind paying a little bit extra. I think around this time, only people who really want to travel would be the ones who would be coming forward and traveling. Now, we've had people, complain about the flights. They manage to get on the flights, and people are normally used to a lot of things on the flight itself, the food, the entertainment part and whatever. And these days, some of the people are sitting there, nothing to do, and they get a little bit bored in the last few months. So any update on in-flight, entertainment and the meal options?
Yeah, that's really amazing. Even I got lots of calls these days. People just call, ma'am, do I still have to bring my own food? Really? And I would say, yes, I'm so happy. From next month onwards, majority of charters, they are giving you hot meals. They started the entertainment as well. So you don't have to worry, except Scoot is still not allowing. And another thing I want to mention here, Umeshji, is the blanket, guys. You don't have to buy more blanket. Because in Scoot and other airlines, they were asking you to take blanket as well. So I know some of the local stores, they must be selling a lot of blankets. So now you don't have to carry your blanket as well. In most of the flights, you are getting all of this covered.
So when you take your blanket and everything, it's like sitting in a bus, eh?
I know. That's what I always say, Umeshji. It's like we are back home and you want to have some tours. So we got all our friends and family. We're hiring a bus. So same thing we are doing here, Umeshji. We are just hiring a plane, just in some more modernized way.
Yes, as I mentioned before, that even under all those circumstances, if someone had to go and if they were on those flights, they would consider themselves lucky, with all those conditions itself. Now, if someone does decide to go to India, what would be their first step? What do they need to do first?
Okay, so Umesh, it's really very, very good question. I know there are so many people stressed out because mainly people are flying in emergency to India or they are stuck here. So this is a question maybe I'm asked by many people every single day. So I would like to brush on that again. So guys, if all you have to think first is whether you have all the documents with you or not. When we talk about document, if you are citizen of Australia, you just need main two documents. So one is exemption to travel from Home Affairs website, and second, OCI. If you don't have OCI, we have covered last time as well, you need to have an emergency visa. So apply these two immediately, even if you have any idea that you have to fly, very soon. So just apply these two documents because they will be very, very handy if you need to fly. And second, if you are PR, then you need the exemption to travel from Home Affairs. It's always good to keep these documents with you because you cannot fly, you cannot leave Australia without these two documents. And if you are Indian citizen on temporary visa, you don't have to worry. All you need is just do your COVID test at least 96 hours prior to departure if you think you have to go fast, but we can book you straight away. There is no problem at all.
Oh, that is wonderful news. But once again, people need to be very vigilant that they have all the documents and that they have followed the procedures. No use getting to the gate and finding out that they won't let you go because you've missed some of the steps. So it's very, very important that all these steps are followed. So, if people have done all those things and if they want to fly out of Brisbane, so what are the options? What's their first options?
Okay, Umesh, once again, the flight we discussed last time, the Scoot on 5th of November, we still have 7 seats left, guys. So this is your last chance and maybe this is the last charter direct from Brisbane. We still have some seats left, which is going next Thursday. If you can't make to that one, I know some of you have asked that you want to celebrate Diwali with your family here and you want to send them afterwards. Then you have option for Emirates. As I mentioned before, Emirates is going with longer haul. And I just want to mention one thing here, which happened last week. There were a couple of cancellation in Emirates as well. So 31st October flight is cancelled and there are a couple of more. Not every flight, but be vigilant and be checked with your agent what you are booking and what is the best possible option for you if you're buying Emirates. And third is definitely, as I mentioned before, we can connect you from any of the charters we have from Melbourne and Sydney. In fact, Air India as well if you want to go with that one. So these are the best options from Brisbane. Umesh.
Okay, so those are very good options that you have explained there. And of course, that's a disclaimer and duty of care to disclose that there could be some cancellations that people need to check with their travel agents and a reconfirmation in these conditions, is very, very advisable. So what I know that, with our show, people listen or hear from and we get comments from all around the world. But mainly, right now, I'm curious to know, many people from Sydney often ask the question, so you've covered Brisbane and Melbourne. What about Sydney? So what are the options from Sydney at this point in time?
Okay, so from Sydney, as I mentioned before, we have Air India from 2nd November till 20th November. Then we also have 2 more flights from Sydney to Delhi. That's 11th November and 7th and 12th November. And then we have 2 flights from Sydney to Bangalore. First is 17th November and then 15th of December. And the fare of these ones starts from $1,295, Umesh.
Okay, so that is the options there from Sydney.
Yeah,
so you are not left out, not left out at all. So you got some options there as well. Now, what about Melbourne? As we know, Melbourne is just coming out of the restrictions. So what are the options available to the Melburnians?
So Melbourne is always the luckiest one, I would say, in terms of flights, Umesh, because Melbourne gets the maximum options flying from Australia to India. So we got flight from Melbourne on 1st of November, 2nd November, 9th November to Amritsar. So we have basically 2 flights going to 3 places. One is Delhi, second is Amritsar, direct flight from Melbourne, and third is to Bangalore. So there are quite a few options from 1st November to 8th of December, Umesh.
So that's wonderful that they have all that options, as you mentioned. In this instance, they are lucky. Right. So Do you have any special tips now before we conclude today's program? For anyone who's wishing to travel or any things that they need to know.
Okay, Umesh, my biggest tip for today would be, guys, if you or your family is traveling, make sure they have some cash with them. This is very, very important. We have some instances, even though we tell everyone bring some cash, some coins. In fact, we saw some instances where without card people having issues. So my recommendation would be make sure you have the small coins, let's say $1 coin, $2, $5, $10 notes, $50, and not only Australian dollars, but you have Indian rupees as well. At least 5,000 rupees I would recommend you should carry with you, because if you are in India, you need something, it's always good to have. And also I would recommend to have a travel money card, which is really hitting, going very good these days, because I heard from some passengers that in some places, like say in Melbourne, sometimes you have to pay for the baggage trolley. So I know one passenger who landed up in Melbourne and didn't have anything, and he really had a lot of issues. So I would say take this one. For instance, I bought one from Commonwealth Bank. They charged me only $15 one-off fees. Let's say I bought it 7 years ago from Commonwealth Bank. Just $15 I paid for 2 cards. And every year, once it expires, they just send me a new one. So what the benefit of this card is, you can probably get from any bank. I think all the banks pretty much got the travel money card. The benefit is you can control that from your own banking. You can transfer the money whatever you want. In fact, if it was misused somewhere, you can block it immediately. It's like your own travel, like credit card, but it's prepaid. So, and they convert the money in different places as different currencies as well. So I would highly recommend you to give one of the card to your parents if they're going. If you're going, maybe you have a credit card, but just give them some card as well, so they don't get stuck when they are, outside. Umesh.
It is very important because there are so many facilities that need to be used. Now, while you were saying that, something came to my mind, because there are some facilities which are only coin operated, that becomes a little bit of a problem. But these days, more and more machines use the card. You can use, with the card. The good part is it doesn't matter which country you are in. With a little bit of fee, you can use that. With the coins, different countries' coin might not work in other countries as well.
But mainly in Australian airports, it's good to have some coins. If you are going, let's say, if you're going Brisbane to Melbourne and then Melbourne to Delhi, it's good you have some coins as well, because you might need it for the baggage trolley or little, coffee or things. So yeah, it's always good to carry some cash, Umesh.
Ah, that's a good point. I would have never thought of that, but yeah, there you go. Some very good, very fine traveling tips there as well.
Yeah.
Where can...
Just one more tip.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to mention one more thing. I just remembered, Umesh, which happened to some of our passengers as well. So, guys, when you are going via any of the airports in Australia, make sure that the passenger knows a little bit English, or they can approach other people, because sometimes, especially our older parents, they don't know much English, right? So then they just feel left alone. So for example, I'd send someone from Brisbane to Sydney and Sydney to Delhi. When they reached the Sydney airport, they said, that they were given the wheelchair assistance, but the person was not helping them from the domestic airport to international. So please don't reconsider that from the domestic flight to international, the wheelchair person will take you, because it goes flight to flight. So both charter flights and domestic are not connected. So if you you expect them to do that, if they do it, it's amazing. If not, just make sure that you ask them. If not, and you think your parents are very scared, we have seen one more amazing option where you can ask one of your friends from the local place. Let's say if they're going from Sydney and from Sydney, then they can probably help your parents to check out from the domestic airport, and then they can help them to check in an international flight. Okay, so I think this is very, very important point for you, that if you go via any domestic flight in Australia, then make sure that your parents know what to expect and what to do when they are there, so they are not lost.
I can really relate to that. Having traveled a lot, even being a frequent flyer, frequent traveler. I have that problem even knowing English in many airports in the world where I have connecting flights, or where I have to go from one terminal to another one. Sometimes the information is just not there. They say, okay, you go there will be a bus that will take you. Okay, where do I go to find that bus, or where, which gate? And sometimes, that can be overwhelming. And I can imagine for elderly people and not knowing English, it could be a very daunting experience. I can speak from the experience there. So for further information now, if people need any further information and guidance and help, where can they go and how can they contact you?
Okay, so Umesh, they can call me as well on 040-440-3264. They can go to our page, which is facebook.com Oz India Travel. In fact, I got so many videos as well for COVID test, how to do your COVID test, how to fill the forms. And there are so many other information also available on the page. They can go on our website. There's an option where they can click for the call back. You have to just put your number and their email IDs on the website. So yeah, any question guys you have, always feel free to call us or message on Facebook or in this number. We're always there to help you. Just one more thing I want to mention here. Once again, Umesh also mentioned last show, we are helping everyone, guys. Doesn't matter you book with us or not. I'm really very, very proud to say that every day I'm helping at least 5-7 people who have not been booked with us, but they trust on us that yes, we can help them for, taking them step-by-step process. So it's just not you have to book with us, then only we'll help you. We are there for you throughout the way. So don't worry. Just feel free to call us and approach us. Amazing.
And I think that's an amazing effort, because in times of need like this, people sometimes become very uptight. They don't want to answer anyone's question unless they are actually dealing with them. And the fact that you are, reaching out and helping these people in need, providing information that they need. Sometimes, our people can be very tiring. They'll keep asking, lots of questions, and sometimes we think, oh, they're silly questions, they should know, but not everyone knows. So we need to look at from their point of view, because many times when we are in the industry, we are used to some terms, some jargon, some things we take for granted, but we don't forget that these people, some of them might not be frequent flyers or travelers, so they need that kind of information, and I'm so proud that you are doing that for them. That is excellent. Wonderfulness there.
Thank you so much, Umesh. I would say just not they need that information, but so many people are very stressed as well. So even you tell them, they kind of forget, and because they are stressful, they just want to reconfirm again and again. And that's the reason I'm trying to make more videos. And through this channel, through you with Australian Indian Radio, we are just trying to reach to more people, so they can listen to the video again and see, okay, this is where they're lacking, this is the information they're lacking, they can watch it again. So I totally understand, Umesh, but this is a time of need. I think we all come together without thinking that whether it's a silly question or not. It's a time of need. We all should come together and help each other. This is the right time for it, Umesh.
And that is such a great Australian thing, mates for mates, as they say. And in time of need, we are there. So, you're showing that true spirit there of helping our community. That's amazing.